Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to another stream. Today we're going to be doing something a little different than what we have done before. I mean, it's a little bit different for my streams. I know a lot of people have done stuff like this, but what we're going to be doing is, let me pull it up here. Boom. We're doing an Isaac boss difficulty tier list, ranking all the bosses from easiest to hardest. Yeah, should be fun. The plan for the stream is that we're gonna do this tier list, and then depending on how long it takes and how I feel after it's done, um, planning on at least playing some Painted Bethany afterwards, but we'll see. Um, Let me see. I gotta explain this tier list probably. Let me first just let's find on stream. That's good. Uh, okay. Let me think about all the things I got to explain for this. So this is a tier list of every boss and mini boss in the current version of Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is Repentance. Um, it's made by Jim Puff. Shout out to Jim Puff for making this tier list. We have 5 tiers here, and should go ahead and just to avoid any confusion, S is going to be the hardest bosses, and D is going to be the easiest. I might add a tier here or there if I feel the need to, but for now we're starting off with just 5. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty much deciding this on 2 factors. One being the boss's stats and their HP and all the different attacks they can do, and also taking into consideration the floor on which you fight them. So, for example, I probably can't come up with a good example, but some bosses might be objectively harder or easier than another boss, but for the situation in which you're usually going to fight them, it might be easier, or it might be different, right? You know what I mean, I think. Even though I can't explain it very well, but yeah, so I think that's all I need to explain. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to basically go in order of floors. So I'm going to start off with basement bosses, then I'll probably go to downpour / dross, then caves, and then I'll do all the regular floors, and then I'll probably do mini bosses, and then I'll do the end game bosses, the beast and Mega Satan and all that. So it should be pretty fun. I don't know how long this is gonna take, but I am gonna be going pretty in depth in my explanations as to what rank I put each one, and I'm gonna be ranking them in the tiers as well. So the one at the top of D tier is gonna be harder than the one at the bottom of D tier, and so on. So yeah, it might take a while. It might take up the whole stream. Who knows? Let's just get started though. Let me do one more check. Looks good on stream. Looking good to me. Okay. So let's see here. First off, we got Dingle. Now Dingle is not too bad. He has the dash, which can catch you off guard if you're not used to it. You haven't fought him very much. You can spawn the little dips, which can be annoying. That's usually not too bad. I would put Dingle at a C. I think that's a good placement. And I can adjust everything later on. I might do some rearranging, but for now I'm putting Dingle in C. He's not too bad. He's a little bit tough for a basement boss, but it's overall pretty easy. Duke of Flies definitely going in D tier. He is definitely one of the easiest bosses in the game. You can pretty much one-shot him with a bomb. You can just like a normal bomb. He spawns very weak enemies that you can kill in just 1 or 2 hits. He has very little HP. He just bounces around. He can't do anything other than spawn flies. So yeah, he's pretty freaking weak. Gemini. Gemini is, it can be tough, but only because of the little baby. And after you kill the big one, if you're smart and you focus on killing the little one first, the fight can actually be very easy. But that can also be tough in itself because it can be awkward trying to kill the little one when the big one's still alive. But for now, I'm gonna put Gemini at the top of D. For now, I might move it up to C eventually, but for now, I don't think it's at Dingle's level of difficulty. But it's definitely harder than Duke of Flies, so I'll just put it there. The Gurglings. The Gurglings are tough. They move around very fast. Hey, Respawn Boy, Heretic in the A, no question. Yeah, probably. I'll get to him in a little bit, but yeah, for now, we're just doing some of these easy basement bosses. Good to see ya. Gurglings, I think they can be tough because they have like their fast little dash attack. They can shoot out tears. And there's 2 of them, makes things harder. I'll put Gurglings in C above Dingle. Larry Jr. is pretty easy. It can depend on the boss arena you get, because some of them can be very cramped. But I would say Larry Jr. probably between Duke of Flies and Gemini. Monstro, I would say, is like a very good beginner boss. He just has like a couple attacks. Doesn't have that much HP. It's pretty weak to bombs. Yeah, he's just pretty easy. I would say he's like between Duke of Flies and Larry Jr. I think is a good place. Famine. Famine. Here's the thing is that I have to include champion versions, right? Which for a lot of these other ones, champion versions haven't really made a big difference. But Blue Famine is so much worse than regular Famine that like I really have to consider that. Because like Blue Famine probably gets him like maybe gets him like top of C at this point. Regular Famine might be like bottom of C, high D. Um, hmm. I'll put him. I'll put him above Dingle, below Gurglings for now. I think that's a good middle ground between Blue Famine and regular Famine. I think it's a good placing. Steven. Steven is literally just a very slightly harder version of Gemini, I think, because the only difference is that they shoot out those like shots all around when you kill each one of them. So yeah, very slightly harder than Gemini. Headless Horseman is actually very difficult if you get him on the first floor. Um, Not very common on the first floor, which is good because it is rough. I would probably put him above Gurglings for now at least. The Fallen, I don't even think you can get the Fallen on. Yeah, let's go with the Fallen. I don't think you can even get the Fallen on the first floor. So we'll do. Okay, so this is like the brownie version of Dingle. So this is like a slightly harder version of Dingle. I don't like this one. Annoys me because the shots he does in all directions, and then like the creep that he can leave when he does his dash. I'll just put him above Dingle, but he's annoying for sure. Little Horn. This is another one that can depend a lot on the champion you get, like the version of the boss. I think overall Little Horn's not too bad. You just have to be careful of the bombs he throws, obviously, and the balls he shoots out, and the holes. He does a lot of different things though, and you can shoot out balls, and you can also have holes coming at you and stuff. My OBS is yelling at me. Please shut up, OBS. I think Little Horn can be tough. I don't know if I want him in D tier or C tier though. I'll put him I'll put him at bottom of C right now. Do I really think he's weaker than Dingle though? That's what I'm trying to think. Do I think Little Horn? Little Horn, I think he does more. Little Horn can blow himself up. Yeah, yeah, I would say Little Horn's easier probably most of the time. Ragman. Ragman is one of the most hated basement bosses. I actually think the Ragman hate is kind of overblown. The more I fought Ragman, the more I realize that he's not that hard. He's just very tedious. You have to fight him pretty slowly. So where do I want to put Ragman? Definitely C tier. Now I'll still put him probably just below the Headless Horseman. Because he is still one of the hardest basement bosses, especially with some of his champion forms. Can be very rough. The Turtlings are just harder versions of Gurglings. Blighted Ovum. Might be a hot take, but I think Blighted Ovum is actually easier than Gemini and Steven. As long as you know to stay out of the way of the little brimstone ghost baby. Why is that another Duke of Flies? That's supposed to be like champion version. I don't know. Okay, let's just do the Haunt. Oof. The Haunt is rough. I would say the Haunt is probably, yeah, the Haunt is probably harder than Headless Horseman, if I had to say. But they're pretty close. Widow. Widow's pretty weak. Some of her champion forms can be annoying though. Like, I think the black one spawns the spiders that break into two spiders. And the pink one is super fast. So I'll put Widow at like the top of D. Like probably the hardest out of these weakest bunch of guys. Who else is left out of the basement boss? Let me just look through here. Oh, Pin. How did I miss Pin? Pin is easy. Pin is probably like here between Larry Jr. and Macho. Pin can't really do much. He has only a couple attacks, and they're all pretty easy to dodge. Oh my god, what is that? That was an ad, I am sorry. Hold on, let me mute this window so that does not happen again. That scared the crap out of me. Sheesh, okay. You know, the website asked me to turn off ad block, and I did it because I felt guilty, but I regret it now. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, Pin just only has a couple of attacks, and they're all pretty easy to dodge, so I feel good putting them between Larry Jr. and Montro. I think that's a good fit. Let's see now, are there any more? I think there's only one more basement boss, but let me just look through, want to be thorough here. Yeah, okay, I think the only other basement boss is Fruity Plum right here. So, Fruity Plum. I think a lot of people thought Fruity Plum was super hard when Repentance first came out. They've gotten used to her, and now they've seen that she's really not that hard. I think the one thing about Fruity Plum that can make her really annoying is that one attack where she bounces all around the room. That can be kind of countered by having good tier knockback and good tier rate and stuff. But it's still, a lot of the time, it is still hard. Definitely on the harder, or like middle, harder end of the basement bosses. So I could put Plum. I think I put Plum like here. It seems like a pretty good fit. Around the same difficulty level as Famine, I would say. Okay, that wraps up all the basement bosses. I think I'm pretty happy with how this looks so far. So let's do the Fallen then. I guess you can find the Fallen in a bunch of different places, so I don't know where I'd want to rank him. It's pretty difficult though, right? Because it splits into the two and they can each do their own attacks and gang up on you. I'd put the Fallen as our first B tier for now. I might move him up or down when we add more and more, but for now he's definitely a tier above these other bosses, I would say. Well, in terms of, if you're also considering like, because you could fight the Fallen in like the womb, and then you're very likely to have good damage by that point. I don't know. I'll leave him there for now. We'll see how we feel later. Oh crap! Oh no, we gotta do Downpour. Okay. We only did one case boss, so it's fine. Okay, Downpour bosses now. Mr. Blub. Mr. Blub is easy. He has like one attack. That was annoying that he kind of spams when he's low on health. And his leeches can kind of sneak onto you if you're not focused. But overall, he's pretty easy. And like Duke of Flies, he's super weak to bombs. Can kill him in like, we can get him down very low with just like one bomb. So I want to put him in D tier. I'm just trying to think, how would I compare him to the other D tier bosses? I think I'd put him, like, who's more likely to make me take damage? I'd probably put him like here. I think that's pretty accurate. Wormwood, oh my god. I fought in Wormwood, seems like every single time I've ever gone to the old path. Wormwood is definitely one of the harder Downpour bosses. I think Wormwood. I think Wormwood would go like here. I think that's a pretty good place for Wormwood. Wormwood can be hard, but he also has pretty simple patterns once you fought him enough times, which you definitely will if you're going to the alt path. It seems like you fight him every single time, and you can chuck bombs in his mouth, which does a ton of damage, kills him in like 2 hits. So yeah, Wormwood's not too bad, but he is challenging for the earlier floors. Rainmaker. Rainmaker is a boss that I used to have a lot of trouble with, but the more you fight him, the more you really get used to him, but he can still catch you here and there. Definitely a C tier boss, I'd say. I'd put him like a little bit above Fruity Plum. They can both catch you with some annoying attacks, but not too bad. Now Min Min. I feel like I don't have as much trouble with Min Min as some other people do. I don't know why that is, but she's just never been that hard to me. But definitely does have some challenge to her. She spawns those orange flies that can be really stressful to deal with. She has 2 phases, which is pretty different from a lot of first floor bosses. You don't see that often. So I would put her I want to put her around where Rainmaker is, I think. Dang, we're already 26 minutes into this. Holy crap. I gotta speed it up. Okay. I'm gonna put Min Min like here. I think she's around Wormwood's difficulty level, maybe not quite as hard, but definitely around there. This black poop boss, I don't remember his name. He can be annoying. We have Flight, that hard counters his like toilet flush attack. But he does have a bunch of annoying attacks. His like bullet swirl around can be pretty hard to dodge. So would I say he's harder than Wormwood? Probably. As of now, I probably get hit by him more than Wormwood, so I would say sure. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick water break, and I'll be right back. So give me just 1 minute. Okay, we're back. Who is next? Oh my god. Alright. Clostomia. The freaking bane of my existence. I'm putting him in A, I don't care. I might change it later, but for now, screw this guy. He is so annoying to fight. Like, I definitely don't feel bad putting him in A. This turd worm. He can be a little tough. His bounce around attack can catch you surprisingly fast sometimes. And then he splits into 2, which can also be hard. So I'll put him. I'd put him like here. Maybe like here. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll put him like here. Like here. Yeah. Definitely one of the easier downpour bosses. Okay, any more downpour bosses? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, now moving on to the caves. Whole bunch of caves bosses, so we already did the Fallen. Now we have Fistula. Fistula is not that bad, you kinda just gotta be patient, which can be difficult. I don't think the champion versions of Fistula are that bad either. I think overall Fistula is pretty easy. I would put him. I'm fine putting Fistula like here, to be honest. In terms of like who hits me most often, Fistula does not hit me that much, I would say. So I think that's a good place. Chub. Chub is a pretty simple boss. It can be annoying if you don't have good damage and you don't have bombs. And you know, it keeps spawning those little chubs and just keeps charging at you. You can definitely take some hits. He can be tough. So I think I'll put him. The problem, main problem with him is that he's so beefy. Like, if you don't have bombs and you don't have good damage, it is really an uphill battle with this guy. So I can put him. I can put him like here. Yeah, I think that's decent. Not sure about that one. It's because like his difficulty is so dependent on your run. It's really hard to say. It's so dependent on if you have bombs or not, because bombs just make his fight so free. Not the Fallen. Was that? It's the Fallen, the other one. I don't know. Fallen number one, I'll call him. He's tough. He has a brimstone attack, which is always annoying on almost every enemy who has one. He can do a whole bunch of things. Honestly, I don't fight this guy that often, so I really don't remember that much at the moment. But he's similar to the Fallen, which automatically is going to make him probably like a B, I would say. Gertie. Gertie is pretty easily. Gertie is pretty easy. His shotguns can kind of cut you off guard, but as long as you know how to like bait him out and then dodge before he shoots, then not really a problem. And he just spawns a bunch of weak enemies. He does have some champion forms. I don't think any of them are really significantly harder. I think one of his champions is actually easier. He just like doesn't even shoot at all, if I'm correct. So Gertie is pretty easy. I put Gertie. I put Gertie like here, honestly, in terms of how often I get hit. Like, I think that's a pretty fair place for Gertie. Girdling, on the other hand, or Gertie Jr. Gertie Jr. can be tough. especially the yellow ones. Those things move like faster than the human body can even react. I'm gonna put Gertie Jr. like here, maybe here. Yeah, I'll put him there. Mega Fatty. Oh my god, Mega Fatty has probably made people refund their copy of the game. Honestly, he is so freaking beefy. If you don't have good damage and like you run into Mega Fatty, he's not even that weak to bombs. Like you're you're gonna be really upset. You're not gonna have a good time. I'll put him. I want to put him at top of B. A lot of his attacks aren't that hard to dodge, but they can definitely catch you. Like he can be surprisingly fast with his jumps and stuff. This is a hard decision. It really shouldn't be. Let's put him somewhere. Yeah, I'll put him here just because he has so much freaking health. That's insane. Megamaw. Megamaw is usually not that bad. I think he has some annoying. Yeah, he has some annoying champion attacks. He can definitely be tough. So I think I'll put him like. I think like there. That's a good place for Megamaw. Yeah, I would say maybe like one of the champion Megamaws is like harder than any Haunt variant, but on average, Haunt is probably harder. Peep. Peep, it can be pretty hard. His eyes come out, and then have to deal with those. Then he's jumping around, he's shooting, he's peeing. So Peep is definitely tough. I'll put Peep like. I'll put Peep like here. I think that's pretty good. Chad. Isn't Chad just like an easier chub, right? Because he spawns like those little things instead of the little chubs that actually move around. Let's put Chad like here. But then I guess Chad does get smaller and faster, the lower his health gets. They're so similar in difficulty that I don't think it really matters which one goes ahead of the other. I'll just put Chad. I'll put Chad being slightly harder because he can get faster the farther into the fight you get, and also because he guaranteed gives you freaking little Chad, which is mostly gonna make it run harder than if you had gotten a different boss item. So yeah, he adds difficulty to the game, adds difficulty to the game in that way. Pestilence, second horseman. He can be pretty tough. And his variants can also be pretty tough too. None of them are really, I don't think, notably harder or easier. They just mix things out though, keep you on your toes. The main thing to worry about with him are the ipecac shots he shoots. The explosion can hit you from, in a surprisingly wide range, and it leaves creeping stuff. So pestilence is pretty tough. I put pestilence probably here, I would say. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Okay, this skeleton thing that I don't actually remember the name of. Uh, he can spawn like bony skeleton boys. That's like the most annoying thing he can do. He also has some a brimstone attack that's pretty easy to dodge. He's really not that bad, but he is definitely a C tier. Let's see where we're gonna put him. Uh, just for being able to spawn bonies, I think he should be. It's probably a little bit under Ragman. Maybe under Chubb. I don't know, I'll keep him above Chubb. They're all pretty close. Polycephalus, dead form, or I don't know, different form. This one is annoying. Little like tentacle attack can hit you. Any enemy that let me say that again. Any enemy that burrows under the ground and pops up is always going to be annoying. And he does he shoots a lot of bullets when he does his shooting attack. He can be tough for sure. I would put him like it's hard. It's a difficult boss to place. Because like I don't really have that much trouble with him, but like just thinking about everything he has, I feel like he's pretty hard. I'm gonna put him like there. I'd say he's around that pestilence, make 'em all level, pretty similar. Then the bone worm, who then breaks into the skeleton, more broken bone worm, shoots brimstone lasers and stuff. This guy, I feel like the only thing that's hard about him is like his brimstone attacks. They can definitely catch you. He's usually not that hard. Let's put him definitely around this area. Yeah, let's just do this. Do I think he's harder than Chubb? Yeah, harder than Chad. Harder than this guy. Hmm. I would say he's probably not harder than Ragman, or if he is harder than Ragman, he's not by much. So I'll just put him right next to Ragman. Bighorn. Bighorn does a lot of things, but he's pretty predictable. He does have a lot of HP though. Pretty beefy. Just so like all of his attacks are pretty easy to dodge. You can see them all coming most of the time. So I don't think anything he does is really that hard to deal with. I want to put him like somewhere down here. That seems like a good spot. I'm just trying to think. Do I feel like I get hit by a famine more often or bighorn? Probably famine, honestly. Then rainmaker. I could put him above rainmaker at least. Or can I? This is gonna seem like a meme. I'm actually just gonna put him right above bighorn. Or right above little horn. I'm gonna put him right above little horn because when I really think about it, it really just feels like a slightly harder version of Little Horn with just like a lot more health. That's really all he is. Okay, let me take another quick drink of water. Man, at this rate, I'm definitely not gonna have time to play any actual Isaac because it is already getting late. Let me pull up the tier list, please. My computer is. Whoa, whoa. Okay, that was weird. My computer is being a little bit funky at the moment. Okay, might have heard a little bit of music there. That was just my wallpaper engine background. Okay, now I can actually get back into it. We got Rag Mega. Rag Mega is a boss that feels like he should be hard because he's like the upgraded version of Ragman. He's definitely not as hard as Ragman, though he does have like the big homing balls that can be annoying. It really depends on your damage when you fight Rag Mega. If you have bad damage, he can probably pretty hard. I don't know if I feel like I always end up having good damage when I fight him though, which I guess is just kind of a bias on my part. So trying to think about it unbiased. Um, Trying to think about it unbiased. He probably is harder than Ragman now that I really think about it, but not by much. Well, I'm trying to think about like for the point that he is in the game, is him in the caves harder than Ragman in the basement? That's what I'm really trying to think about. Hmm. I might get controversial here. I actually think he's just slightly easier than Ragman. I think he is for the point that he's at in the game. He is not as hard to deal with as Ragman is at the point that he's at. Uh, Bumbino. Bumbino is another weird one because I feel like with Bumbino, I could have a run where I get hit by him like 6 times, and I could have a run where I don't get hit by him at all, and they could like be pretty similarly good runs, and I just don't know what I did differently. Sometimes he just smacks me around so much. He's definitely hard though. I'm gonna put him. Hmm, do I want to put him above Mega Fatty? Thinking about this way too much. Let me just. Do I get hit by Bambino more than I get hit by the Fallen? Probably. Yeah, I'll put him above Mega Fatty, but they're very close. I feel like Bambino hits me more often, but Mega Fatty takes longer to kill because he just has so much HP. But like, I could definitely interchange these two. They're very close. Uh, Carrion Queen. Freaking hate Carrion Queen with all of my heart and soul. Uh, let's see here. Probably harder than Gertie Jr. Probably harder than Peep. I'll put Carrion Queen like there because you can still mess her up with bombs, and she doesn't really get that much harder than like Chubb until you get to the part where she goes diagonally, which is when she's already at like pretty low health. So I could even bump her down a little bit. Yeah, bump her down like there. I think that's a pretty good place. The Hollow. The Hollow is so dang easy, especially for the caves. Feels like it's meant to be a basement boss. Put Hollow literally right above Larry Jr. because it's just a very slightly harder version of Larry Jr. Maybe even easier because you don't have to worry about the harder arenas that you can have with Larry Jr. But yeah, I'll just put it slightly above. The Husk is again like a very not that harder version of Duke of Flies. Uh, I'll put Husk like put husk like here. That seems fair. Slightly harder than the fistula, probably around that level. Polycephalus can be annoying. It's another boss that burrows under the ground. I think Polycephalus is Polycephalus the one that spawns little worms, or is that this one that I already ranked? I don't know. But I'll just put Polycephalus like. Excuse me. Hello. Hello, computer. Uh, give me 1 minute to deal with these technical issues. Oh. Okay, what happened? Okay. Alright, let's put Polycephalus back down there. So Polycephalus. I wish I could make sure it didn't move anything else, right? I don't think so. Okay. So Polycephalus, I think would be like around famine level. Definitely has some attacks that could catch you, can be annoying, but not too bad. Now you have. Let me make sure we're done with the caves bosses. Just looking through here. Okay, I think we are done with the caves bosses. So now we have the freaking ash pit bosses. Great, some real characters in here. We have this rock spider thing that I don't remember the name of, but it obliterates me. This thing is pretty tough. I would put it. Mm, mm, mm. Do I think it's hard enough to be an A tier? Yeah, I'd say it probably is. I'll put it in A tier for now, and I might change it later. But for now, I think it's close enough to Colostomius level. Yeah, next we have Hornfell. Hornfell, I've never really had problems with. It's pretty easy. Definitely. I'll just look here. Yeah, definitely the easiest Ash Pit boss for sure. I'll put him like put him right above Little Plum. I think they're a similar level of difficulty there. And these two rock worms that I don't remember the name of either. I don't remember a lot of these repentance bosses. These guys, you have to pick up the bomb and then chuck it at them to blow up and make them vulnerable. You can also throw the bomb to blow up the vulnerable spots. And that makes your life a lot easier a lot of the time. So these guys are not too hard. Kind of just like a gimmick version of the Hollow. I put them at like feel fine putting them like the top of D. They're pretty easy. Oh my god, great Gideon. I could write an essay on why this is the worst freaking boss in the game. Hello, computer. Please. What are you doing? Oh my god. My computer is having a freaking spaz attack for no reason. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, give me 1 minute. I need to try to sort out some of these technical problems.